why some artists never grow up. Something interesting happens to artists, specifically music artists. They discover themselves when they're young, and that discovery also plagues them later in life. For context, I grew up in the 90s, 2000s, so I used to listen to Kanye West, Nas, Jay-Z, 50 Cent, Eminem, all the hip hop artists who pretty much dominated the radio, Billboard, or any type of club or bar atmosphere. Going back to that time, 15, 20 years ago at this point, the music was always fun, right? It always made us feel good. But something I never really thought about was how that music and the message in that music would translate to today. Whenever I go back and I listen to some old school Kanye, College Dropout, or if I go listen to 50 Cent, Get Rich to Die Trying, I listen to that message. Some of the message could be gun, gang, or violence related. Some of it could be about how to find women, how to meet women. Some of it could be about doing drugs, drinking. And I ask myself, as an artist, how do these artists feel 15, 20 years later when they have to perform these songs that they made 15, sometimes 20 years ago? So there's a pattern that I typically see and I observe through how artists grow and how artists develop. I think about, why is it that artists get stuck in their past? From my perspective, it's very simple. Fans, communities, and record labels remember and connect to when those artists were at their peak. We remember those early 2000 records. We remember how they made us feel. And so when these artists try to escape that identity, it's difficult because that's what we know them for. There's an artist, his name is Wiz Khalifa, who I used to listen to a lot more back when I was younger. And I listened to an album recently. You're talking 15, 20 years later, the messaging is still the same. Living the bachelor life, smoking weed all the time, going out to the club. You almost wonder, is this message that he's promoting because this is what his fans want? Is this what the people want? I couldn't imagine how that would feel if I'm a 40-year-old, 50-year-old, sometimes even 60-year-old man, and I have to go on tour. And when I get on those stages, the songs that people want to hear are songs that I made 15, 20, 25 years ago. In present day, I'm probably not that same person, but I have to connect to that old identity. And I can see how artists can get stuck into that psychological place. I can only imagine the conflict, trying to grow beyond self, but people connecting to nostalgia. They want to hear and see and feel the old version of you, what you gave them in the time of their life that they probably will remember forever. So, as I think about the music industry, I wonder how this will affect the future of music. Hip hop music currently is in a decline when it comes to the Billboard and popularity. And I wonder if a lot of that has to do with the messaging. It makes me think, as a young artist, feeling rebellious and making music that communicates that rebellious idea, what you're communicating and what you're saying right now, you're going to, and your fans and the people that support you are going to want to hear this when you're 15 years older, 20 years older. So what is it that with artists, why they don't grow up? And I believe a big reason of that is because of what we as the fans remember them by and currently they want to see expressed.